previous video, we focused on setting some SMART goals, mainly because it is this time of the year where we are thinking about our goals and thinking about 2025 and the new year. And with that, just a quick happy 2025. I hope that it is a really great year, a prosperous year, and a year that you actually get to reach your goals. And if you haven't checked out our previous video on setting up SMART goals, I really do urge you to do so that you can set yourself up for hopefully achieving your goals rather than getting to the end of the year and thinking, oh, also I didn't reach that goal, or I never got to what I wanted to achieve. So in today's video, we will be talking about building a balanced meal. Now, this really is in line with the fact that most of us, if your goal is to be healthier this year, we definitely need to be focusing on our diet, and sometimes it might be a little bit complicated and we feel a little bit overwhelmed with all of the information out there and people with all of their opinions. So I hope that today's video will help you just have a practical tip in your toolbox for when you are going out and about, when you're at social events, or even when you're just at home preparing your meals. Before we start with the video, just a quick introduction. My name is Melissa Nell. I'm a registered dietitian and I'm part of the Body 20 Nutrition Doctor team. And welcome if you are new here. We do these videos every 2 weeks, and we urge you to send us any questions if you have any via WhatsApp or email. All right, so building a balanced plate. Why is this important? Okay, firstly, we love to build a balanced plate because then we know that we are ticking all the boxes when it comes to our nutrients and our macronutrients specifically. Now, why do we want to do that? Is because we want to try and balance the blood sugar levels throughout the day so that we have sustained energy and focus and concentration so that we can actually do the tasks that we need to do and prevent those energy drops and slumps throughout the day, which isn't great and often leads to cravings and eating things that you thought, oh, I really didn't want to eat that, or I wanted to avoid sugar, or whatever it might be. The other thing with a balanced meal or a plate is that it definitely helps assist you with achieving your goals, whether it be to lose fat or to build muscle, or to just generally be healthier overall. So we see that it is a really important aspect of our day-to-day lives. We have to do it every single day for at least maybe 3 times a day. So it is really something that is helpful to have at the back of your mind as a practical tool, you know, when you are dishing up a meal or when you are ordering a meal at a restaurant. So first of all, when it comes to your plate, so if you can imagine your plate in front of you, we'd like to divide the plate in half and fill up that one half with non-starchy vegetables. So think about your green things like your salad, salad things like, for example, lettuce, tomato, cucumber. Can also be your non-starchy vegetables like, for example, your spinach, things like, for example, carrots, green peppers, anything that is not a starchy vegetable. So a starchy vegetable would classify as, for example, potato, sweet potato, butternut, pumpkin, your legumes like your chickpeas and lentils, and then of course beetroot as well. So those would be your starchy vegetables. So any other vegetable that is not in that category can fall in the half of your plate. Now, why do we want to fill half of the plate with non-starchy vegetables? This is mainly because they provide a lot of vitamins and minerals as well as fiber. Now, what's also really great is that this fiber fills up the body and the stomach so that you actually manage your portion sizes a lot more effectively. Next, and then of course, fiber is great for gut health, which is super important because we know gut health is really involved in a lot of other aspects in the body, especially with mental health. So really looking after our gut is super, super important. The other half of the plate we can therefore divide into two halves again, where the one half we put our complex carbohydrates and the other half hopefully lean proteins. Now, complex carbohydrates would be things that are again carbohydrates that are higher in fiber. Think like, for example, and especially lower GI, like for example your baby potatoes. It can be your sweet potato, your starchy vegetables like I've mentioned, like butternut, or roasted veggies with a mixture of those veggies in it. It can also be things like brown rice, quinoa, and the likes. Then of course your lean protein, whether it be animal or plant-based proteins, we stick to the leaner types that aren't that high in fat. So think fish, your chicken, and then if you are going for your plant-based proteins, then of course it would be beans or tofu and the likes. Lastly, we do definitely want to add a healthy fat, a really small amount of it, just to add on top of it. So maybe it can be a little bit of a salad dressing that's made with olive oil for the veggies, or maybe you've used olive oil to cook the meal, or even avo on the plate, or nuts and seeds, for example. So try to stick to a healthier fat where possible. Now, all of these 3 food groups that I've mentioned with your non-starchy vegetables, we've done a lot of videos on them before in the Nutrition 101 series. So if you want to see a little bit or learn a little bit more in depth about carbohydrates, proteins and fats, I urge you to go watch those videos. So that is our balanced plate. So when you are at a restaurant or you're dishing up at home, it's easy enough to just remember, one half is non-starchy vegetables, the other half would be protein and your complex carbohydrates, and then a little bit of fat on top of that. An easy way that you can use your hands as a portion size is a fist size, or your fist is usually about a carbohydrate portion. The palm of your hand is around 90 to 120 grams of cooked protein, and then your thumb is a healthy portion for a healthy fat, for example. So that's also easy when you are maybe just, checking on your plate, or when you are maybe at friend's house or that type of thing, when you're not measuring out the portions when you could have done it, let's say, for example, at home. So let's think about it practically. Like, for example, breakfast. If you have a breakfast and you look at, for example, complex carbohydrate would be oats. Then you're adding some nuts and seeds on top of that for the healthy fat. And then the protein can be either a protein powder mixed into the oats. It can be milk that you've also mixed into the oats if you are using milk or dairy. Or it can then be egg white scramble on the side as the protein portion. Lunch can be a lean protein, like for example fish, or then a plant-based protein with a salad, and maybe in the salad there's mixed in some quinoa, so it's like a quinoa salad, for example. And then dinner, again, a lean protein where possible, like for example salmon if you like fish, or it can then be a leaner cut of red meat even. Again, with maybe some 3 baby potatoes or more, it depends on your portion sizes, and then of course some non-starchy vegetables, like for example broccoli that you've roasted in the oven, and then it's often cooked in some olive oil, for example, drizzled with some herbs and spices, lemon juice and the likes. So some of the pitfalls that I've noticed with people when they are specifically looking at calorie balance and thinking, okay, but I am doing these things but I'm still not losing weight because my calorie balance is out, is some of the pitfalls is definitely has to do with too much sauces and condiments. So really be mindful of the sauces that you use, because these things are often packed in a lot of calories, high in fat, and often have a lot of other nasty things in that we don't really prefer. So really, I urge you to look at the sauces and condiments and try to opt for those that are lower in calories as fast as possible, and really use a smaller amount. If you are at a restaurant, ask them to put the sauce on the side, for example. And then of course another pitfall is if we are mindlessly just dishing up and mindlessly eating. So try to be a little bit more mindful when you are dishing up. Remember that picture that I've just kind of shown you, and then also when you are eating, try to be only focusing on eating, not really distracted by the TV or social media and that type of thing, and really just focus on chewing the food, tasting the taste, the senses and all of that, and really just enjoying it so that you can savor the moment and hopefully feel fuller quicker, so that you don't dish up more or increase your portion sizes. So that's it from me today. I hope this has been helpful. I hope it's a helpful tool that you can just keep in the back of your mind whenever you are dishing up or planning your meals. And then like I've mentioned before, if you have any questions, let us know, and then I'll see you in the next one.